What is good, y'all? It is Anime K here, and we are back with another video. And if you see the title, it said Code is a joke, and this has been a recent theme that is going on in the Boruto franchise series, whatever you want to call it, right? That Code, he's just a joke, because the Boruto franchise, the series, the manga, everything, right, put this expectations on Code like he was going to be this powerful character, like he's really strong, and he's just not lived up to that potential. But let's explain who Code is briefly for you guys. Code, he is basically a vessel, well, he was a vessel for Ishiki, just like Kawaki was, only with Code, he's basically an imperfect vessel. That's why his karma marking is white. And Ishiki couldn't use him to resurrect. He's basically an imperfect vessel, but it's still a good thing for him because he was able to still retain all of Ishiki's powers, but Ishiki was able to resurrect him. That's why he had to use Kawaki later on. So that's basically who Code is briefly. You guys, you all know who Code is, right? But what I want to talk about here is how he's been hyped up in the series, right? So when you first see Code, right, all Amado used to talk about with Code, you know, when Amado came to Amado, am I pronouncing that right, Amado? Basically the scientist, right, who designed Ada and Code and the Jiraiya clone, right? All he was talking about with Code is how if Code had his limiters off, he would be strong, he would be powerful, he'd be just as strong as Ishiki, if not stronger. But them claims just haven't been backed up at all in the series, and that's the problem. When you set expectations on a character and he doesn't deliver on said expectations, right, a lot of the people, including me, a lot of people that read the manga or watch the show are going to be like, well, why should I even be hyped when this character's on screen? Because every time he appears, you keep telling me he's strong and he keeps getting slapped up by different characters, right? So first, when Code first appears, right, he just keeps getting slapped up by different characters, right? I mean, Ada, Daemon, Boruto, Kawaki, 4 characters, right, that have just slapped him up, right? I wouldn't be surprised if in the scene where he appears in the Leaf Village of chapter 1 of 2 Blue Vortex, Sarada slaps him up as well, and she's a non-Otosuki. But that's the first problem with Code, is that he is hyped up and so far he's not living up to his expectations. Now, next I want to talk about some Naruto characters that have had kind of similar expectations like Code and not lived up to it. Now, I did check out a list to see what other people thought, and Neji and Rock Lee came up, right? And I want to touch more on Neji than Rock Lee because Neji fits more into the kind of bracket of someone who was really hyped up, was meant to be the genius of the Hyugas, he was smart, he was a prodigy like Sasuke, and in the first fight with Naruto in the tuning exams, Neji got beaten, right, by an uppercut. And look, were people really talking about Neji the way we were talking about Code? No, because he didn't really get slapped up as much as Code has been with other characters. But what I will say is, after that fight with Naruto, Neji, he doesn't really do anything big after that until, I guess, the war arc, where he sacrifices himself for Naruto and Hinata. Neji kind of falls into that, didn't hit their potential. Now with Rock Lee, it's a bit different because Rock Lee was always an underdog, and look, why Rock Lee could have done more in the series, his moment with Gaara was perfect, and he wasn't really hyped up to be the strong character. Now don't get me wrong, the fight with Gaara, you've seen that he had potential, but not like how it was with Neji, where he was held to be this genius, and even some people would say if he was a part of the main family, could have been the head of the Hyugas, because that's just how strong and that's just how much he was hyped up to be. And I always say that is one character where I would have loved to have seen him stay alive and take over the Hyugas. Now there's 2 other characters where they kind of fit Code's situation, but not exactly, and it is Itachi and Sakura. Now with Itachi and Sakura, I've mentioned these 2 characters for different reasons. Now first, let's talk about Itachi. Now Itachi, right, the reason why he's a bit different to Code, and I guess we'll give Code time, is because even though Itachi didn't live up to his full potential, what he ended up achieving in the series was still better than what most characters can even say, right? Because Itachi, 1, he slaughtered his whole clan, right, was a member of the Akatsuki, so he killed a lot of people during his time as well. He was a very powerful character. He had Amaterasu, he had his Genjutsu ability, he had the Susanoo, he had the Yadamir sword, and Itachi achieved a lot in the show and in his light novels as well. He was a genius. And you know what? He did live up to that genius title, he did live up to that prodigy title, but unfortunately, right, his chakra illness is what held him back. And it's scary to think that even from what Itachi achieved, and he was sick at the time, right, that he could have been so much more. And with Sakura, the reason why I bring up Sakura in this, because even though Sakura, she, again, became very powerful, achieved quite a bit in the series. I feel like Sakura could have been more as a character, because when she's kind of first introduced into the show, Kakashi talks about how her chakra control is some of the best chakra control she's seen. And you know, back then everyone was saying she could have been a genjutsu master, or she could have done something else. So I feel like with Sakura, the reason why I've added it here is because I feel like Sakura's character, when I look back at her character, it could have been so much more, but Kishimoto for some reason just really didn't let her blossom at all. So that's why I mentioned these two characters. But with Code, right, I guess we could give him time because he's only been in the series for a little bit. Well, he's been there for a while, but I guess you could give him time. He's not been there for as long as Itachi and Sakura were, right? But, you know, I guess we could give him time. But I think with Code, his situation is he just keeps getting hyped up and keeps getting slapped up, and like I can't really think of many examples where characters have been hyped up like Code and not actually lived up to their potential. Now, a character actually lived up to their potential, which I always bring up, is Madara, and he's the perfect example of this, of someone who was hyped up from basically the start of OG Naruto, right, and was mentioned throughout well, not really in OG Naruto, but especially in Shippuden, was mentioned quite a bit, was hyped up as a strong shinobi, right? Even when Sasuke was getting stronger, you know, they would compare Sasuke to Madara. Madara was always the benchmark for most shinobi, including every Uchiha, like Itachi, like Sasuke, like Obito. Madara was always the benchmark, right? And he's a character where he was hyped up, and Kishimoto delivered on that when he appeared in the Fourth Great Shinobi World War against the Allied Shinobi forces. And Madara, not only did he live up to his expectations, but broke the ceiling of whatever expectations you had on him, because he was just a powerhouse. He was a tank. Now look, Code, I'ma still hold out hope for Code because I like Code, and I still think Code should be relevant to the story, and I still hold out hope for him, because look, Code eventually, maybe he might have to die, right? Because they're gonna have to get him out of the way eventually, right? But it's like when that death eventually comes, it's not going to mean nothing, because for instance, right, let me give you guys an example. Characters like Pain, characters like Itachi, characters like Obito, they were all strong characters who delivered on their reputation. And what happened is main characters like Naruto, like Sasuke, right, were boosted up when they got rid of these characters because of how strong these characters were and how Naruto and Sasuke and whoever was able to overcome them. If Code dies at the hands of maybe Sarada or Kawaki or Boruto, right, we'll just go, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Code didn't really do much in the series anyway, so who cares? It won't be a hype moment. Even right now, right, that moment with Boruto where he steps on Code, it is a hype moment. But what I've realized, and I've heard a lot of people talking about this, is in my last video I did compare it to when Naruto entered the village with Pain. But the difference is Pain, right, he just blew up the whole Leaf Village. He had the Renegon, you know, a couple chapters ago he just killed Jiraiya, right? So Pain, when Naruto showed up, it was more hype because we was like, how is this fight gonna go? How's it gonna play out? You know, Pain's really strong, but Naruto's just learned Sage Mode. You see what I mean? But whereas when Boruto entered and steps on Code's face, it was more of a look at Code getting slapped up again. That's all it was. It was more of a, we was just laughing at Code more than with Pain and Naruto. It was like, we were on the edge of our seats. What's gonna happen next? Will Naruto actually be able to kill Pain, or will Pain kidnap Naruto and extract the Nine Tails? Now look, I think we should give Code a chance, right? Don't write him off straight away yet, because I think he still has potential, and you know, I'ma hold out faith in him. I'ma hold out faith with Code, but really I think this next chapter determines how I'll personally see him as a character. Because if he turns up now and Boruto and Kawaki both slap him up, or Sarada or whoever, and he has to leave again, then yeah. And more so as well, if that happens and then they reveal that Code was the person that killed Sasuke, if Sasuke is dead as well, I'm gonna be even more angry. Because if Sasuke died to Code where he keeps getting slapped up by these other characters, that is just a rubbish way for him to die. If that is the case, if you're planning on making Code the person who got rid of Sasuke, then you better make sure Code is displayed better in the show. But look, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, tell me if there's some points you think I missed, and tell me if you think I'm going too harsh on Code. And this has been Anime K, and thank you for watching.